I thought that this was going to be like Don't Look Up, but for DC statehood. What the fuck? I'm Justin.
Unlocked, locked, and 2 room temperature barrels. I'm Sam.
But I won't do that. Oh no, but I won't do that. I am Jackie and this is the state of 51.
The state of 51.
Wait, what? What's this movie called again?
51st State.
51st State. And this is a Meatloaf tribute.
Kind of. On Stinker Madness.
On Stinker Madness.
Hello, welcome to Stinker Madness. This is the podcast about bad movies for bad movie lovers by bad movie lovers. I'm your host, Justin. With me are always Sam and Jackie. This week on the show, currently streaming on Tubi TV and pretty much any streaming platform that has commercials, is the 51st State, also known as Formula 51, starring Samuel L. Jackson and Robert Carlyle from the year 2000. Samuel L. Madness.
Yeah.
What's up?
I expect better out of Emily Mortimer.
Yeah, right?
That's the only one that I can shame here because the rest of them are known dumpster divers as far as scripts are concerned.
Yeah.
Samuel L., Robert Carlyle, and Meatloaf are among main offenders.
Very much. We got anybody else in this? Any of the bad guys? The Durant character, I didn't recognize him. Also, the drug dealer that seems pretty cool but a little wild. I don't even know his name. Was he anybody?
Rhys Ifans?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's in a lot of stuff.
Was
he may have been in the first Train Spotting.
BBC guy, maybe? That's why Jackie looks so confident and she knows who he is?
Yeah, he's in a lot of British TV shows.
Okay.
He's in a lot of shit like this is what he's in.
Yeah.
A lot of not Train Spotting and not Lock, Stock, and 2 Smoking Barrels has got Rhys Ifans as its staple.
Speaking of which, this was directed by Guy Ritchie, right?
Nope.
Oh, it wasn't? Huh. Okay. Was it directed by Dave Ritchie?
Nope.
Okay, who directed this, Sam?
Ronnie Yu.
Ronnie Yu.
This is the movie he made
actor from RoboCop.
Well, he was a Hong Kong director. He did Brandon Lee's first big movie over there, which some consider to be Brandon Lee's best movie. That's how one measures Brandon Lee's best movie is up for debate, but it's called Legacy of Rage.
Okay.
This is the movie that he directed directly in between Bride of Chucky and Freddy vs. Jason.
All right.
And Samuel L. actually was like, oh, you want to do a movie like this and you're having a problem finding a director, you should get Ronnie Yu. He just did Bride of Chucky. That was fun.
Good enough.
Good enough. Because that's really what happens is that this Stel Pavlov guy writes a script. He wanted to do this movie himself for about $1 million. And that never really picked up traction. Then they were like, okay, well, if we could do $5 million and Tim Roth directs it, can we do the movie? Eventually, somewhere in between here and there, somebody else is like, ooh, I'm going to make the next Lock, Stock, and 2 Smoking Barrels. I've got it in my hand. 5 years later, it ends up costing $27 million, and this is what we get.
$27 million?
Yeah, it only returned about 13.
20? Where? I mean, what did they spend the money on?
Bunch of actors that don't work for thanks.
I guess. Holy smokes.
Candy.
Dude, that is outrageous. I was thinking like this was like a $10 million movie.
It should have been 5.
Right.
Without Samuel L. Jackson, it costs 5.
Okay, throw $5 million at Samuel L. You got 10. That's fine. Do 10.
I feel like without Samuel L., it costs 5, but you don't get Robert Carlyle or Emily Mortimer either. And I think that's what this movie needed was less star power.
Okay.
It could have just been some funny little English movie that only cost $5 million. It would have been fine.
Yeah.
Would have been fine.
Yeah.
Trying to put butts in seats this way, totally not cool.
There's some pretty heavy scenery chewing in this, so it definitely would be not the same movie. I just don't know if that would be a good or a bad thing. Jackie.
I really liked Emily Carlisle's haircut.
Emily Carlyle. She was not in this movie.
Wait, what's the lady's name again?
Emily Mortimer.
Emily Mortimer had a very sophisticated haircut that I considered like, well, we kind of have the same hair type. Maybe I should cut my hair.
Okay.
And then I was like, but no, I look terrible with bangs. And those are the thoughts that I had when she was on screen. Man, I really like that haircut. No, don't do it.
The whole time I was looking at Robert Carlyle and being like, God, I wish I was a foot shorter and British.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay.
You have a crush on Emily there, Justin?
No, I'm just saying you're like, boy, I would look just like Emily Mortimer if I had her haircut, which is very not the case.
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying I like the haircut.
Okay.
If I got... No, I don't... It would take, like... I would have to get leg extensions.
Yeah.
She's a leggy lady. I have short legs. It would never work out for me, even with the haircut.
Yeah. He probably had to stand on a box to have any sort of smoochies with her. What else you got, Sam?
Let's talk about Robert Carlyle.
Okay.
Because he's great.
I don't care.
I love him.
Yeah.
But in terms of his career, he had a real bang happen with Train Spotting and the Full Monty. And you start looking at the rest of it and you're like, ooh, get choosier. Get choosier.
You know,
because like his next big gem is Stargate Universe. Really?
Yeah.
See, and I really didn't pick him up until he was in the series of Once.
Okay. So he's still working. That's a fairly recent show.
He still works. It's just that he's not doing awesome things that he should be doing.
Yeah.
He's sort of a poor man. He could be a bit of a poor man's Gary Oldman if he wanted to, I think.
He could. Wasn't he the voice of Simon Bolivar? Bolivar? However you say that, in Castlevania?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think he was Simon's voice.
Yeah, it seems like he works a lot, but
just not
in good things.
Yeah, not in. I once was almost a main. Like
they did like 8 seasons of that.
Yeah,
and he was really good in it.
Yeah, but he's not a main. That's an ensemble show. There's lots of people in that show.
He's recurring though.
Yeah, and recurring.
Well, he
could have been a main. He could have been a contender.
He was really a main character in that show.
Right, but it's still an ensemble. If you're on screen a bunch of times, that doesn't mean you're the lead. He could have been a lead after Trainspotting and Full Monty. He was on the verge of being a big deal.
If you would have shown his wiener on screen.
Yeah, okay. That's what it
during
takes.
the Full Monty. I mean, he probably could have gone far.
You know, Mark Wahlberg showed his wiener, and look what happened to him.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that wasn't actually his wiener. No, that has nothing to do. Wieners have nothing to do with it, Jackie.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Colin Farrell
didn't show his wiener.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, that was a stunt wiener. You are also...
in what? I think you get a look at his wiener in Tigerland.
Yeah, that's the movie that I'm talking about.
It's not really anything. It's sort of like the David Bowie and The Man Fell to Earth. You're like, so did you have a grapefruit in your pants too during Labyrinth? Because I'm looking at it now and I'm not impressed.
Right. Also, I guess Jackie's got a point because Schwaz's big break was Terminator and his little tiny wieners in it.
His wieners in it. Yeah, if you show wiener, gentlemen, that's how you make it in Hollywood. Because then the ladies are like, oh, that guy shows wiener. I'm going to that show. Because there might be a wiener in it.
I don't know if you're the arbiter for why people go to movies, but...
Hey, if there's a wiener in it, I'm watching it. Like Game of Thrones, not that interesting, but lots of wieners.
So, we must be sort of big on Meatloaf because we pulled the trigger on this week. So, what do we got on Meatloaf that we haven't already done on this show?
Well, obviously, there's his good projects.
And he just recently passed away, which is why I picked this movie, because I am a Meatloaf fan.
I don't know if, Meatloaf is not choosy, but he can do good. And also, I don't necessarily think he was terrible in this. I thought he was... The movie stinks, but I don't think it's his fault by any means. And his character stinks, and I don't think it's his fault by any means. I think he just was doing his job.
I think that they all did what they could in their really runny Lock, Stock clone.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I mean, like, I was coming in hoping that we were going to get like a, what's that little My Friend Sasquatch or I'm Going to Get You Sasquatch that we did with Meatloaf that's so bad, where Sasquatch is a monster bud. He was basically
I know which one you're talking
about.
What
are those little robots from the 90s? Furbies. He was basically, Sasquatch was a Furby. The kid put him in a backpack and Meatloaf's hunting him. That's what I wanted. I didn't get that here.
Or Meatloaf in Black Dog.
Black Dog, right? We wanted to do Black Top, where Meatloaf is the Swayze character, but it's just not streaming anywhere.
Yeah, I think you had to buy it for $35.
Yeah. Wow.
And the other one we would have been able to, because I haven't been able to find it forever, is that movie with the roadie or whatever that he's in. Mm-hmm. It's got like everybody and their dog in it. Hank Williams Jr. does outlaw women in the middle of the movie. I've seen that thing twice, and I haven't been able to find it for like 10 years.
That's on my watch list.
Yeah.
But you're right. That one is not available anywhere either, because that was another one of my first choices before this one.
And Meatloaf's kind of like one of those guys that you could be a completionist on. Like, honestly, you can't do that with Samuel L. There's just too much garbage with Samuel L. But you could with Meatloaf, almost like a Charles Bronson. You could do a whole Meatloaf, end to end.
I think I'm close.
Yeah, you might be. Well, I don't know. There's a lot of. We were looking at the Meatloaf thing, and there was like 4 or 5 that I was like, what? Including this one I never even knew existed.
But he never showed his wiener on screen, so he never really made it in Hollywood.
He would do anything for stardom, but he won't do
that. He won't do that. He's not showing his wiener.
He left that to Iggy Pop. What do you got on Meatloaf, Sam?
I don't know. He's like, hey, Meatloaf, show your wiener. He's like, you should show me my wiener. I haven't seen it in 10 years.
Oh, my God.
Kaboom.
I feel like we've done. I feel like I got him on the Black Dog episode. Like, it's Meatloaf. Yeah. That's about it.
So
that's Meatloaf to me. Like,
where are we at on About Out of Hell? Are we down with Meatloaf's music, or are we just down with Meatloaf?
I like both of them, and I would do anything but that. Song sucks, but the rest of the album's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
It's pretty fun.
And Bat Out of Hell, the first one's fine. Paradise by the Dashboard Light's a good song. He's just kind of a big silly guy.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with him.
Paradise
I like
by
him a lot.
Sorry. Paradise by the Dashboard Lights, that's my favorite one that he did. I love singing that song during karaoke, but it always makes the karaoke guy go, oh, fuck you. Every time I put it in.
2 out of 3 Ain't Bad's a different song, right?
Yeah.
I like that one.
I like that I Believe in a Thing Called Love song that he does.
That's Andrew. Wait, no, that's The Darkness.
Yeah, he was the front man for The Darkness, right?
Actually, The Darkness is just doing Bat Out of Hell over and over and over again.
It's pretty epic. Okay, all right. 51st State.
Also known as Formula 51.
Right.
Which is why I was confused at the beginning, because that's the movie I picked was Formula 51.
Neither's a good title.
But then I noticed that it was called something else when we were watching it.
POS 51 in the movie.
Piece of shit.
Right.
51.
It just turns out to be the power of suggestion, but like, did they not know that POS is not what people know power of suggestion? I mean, it's a piece of shit.
Yep.
Piece of shit 51.
It should have been Piece of Shit 51 is the title of this movie. Okay. All right. So we start out way back in time. Oxnard of 71. Old Samuel L. He plays a guy named Elmo. We're going to call him Elmo because we actually get his name quite a bit in this film. His name is Elmo. He's a recent PhD grad, I'm assuming, from one of the USCs.
I think Berkeley.
Berkeley, yeah, or one of the UC.
It was California State. I saw, or University of California is what I think I saw. So I think it's Berkeley. I think he went to Cal.
Yeah, if he's heading south, he's coming from Berkeley. He's down on his way to make it big time in LA. But anyways,
as a weatherman.
As a weatherman.
He got his pharmacology degree, but
And now we go to Elmo in the chopper. That's right. It's getting pretty cloudy out here, motherfuckers. Said Elmo because he has to. All right, so he's cruising down the PCH. He's got a big afro and all the cliches you could expect from a brother in the 70s. And he's puffing a doob, and he gets pulled over. He He's got a huge bag of weed on him, and the cop is a total dick and is like, no, you're going to jail, bud. And he's like, no, but you're going to ruin my life. I don't care. Chips. And also,
your drugs aren't that good.
Your drugs aren't that good, and your degree is dumb. Degrees are stupid.
Burn his degree.
He burned his PhD.
He's like, fuck you.
I don't think that's a thing cops do.
I think
he did it, and then apparently Elmo was like, you're right, I'm going to become a chemist instead. Because he's not a chemist at the beginning of the movie.
He's on his way to work with the Doppler radar. Now he's like, well, okay, I guess I'm a drug dealer.
No, he's going to work at the Walmart pharmacy handing out drugs.
PhD? Working at a Walmart pharmacy?
No, he's going to end up on KTLA.
Yeah.
They're going to start him out on weekends, and they're like, Elmo, no, you got a PhD, but this is KTLA. You're going to have to do traffic and weather from the chopper
and
on
the occasional cap
weekends.
Parade. You got to cover the cap parade and give us the weather during the cap parade.
Yeah, and basically they just cut to him at the 5 o'clock news on Saturday, and he's like, the traffic is bad. It is hot. Get me out of here.
I don't want to go to Long Beach.
But do you guys think that if you would have had better pot, the cop would have been like, and I will take that, yank, and you are on your way, sir?
I don't know. I don't get in the mind of corrupt cops very often.
I would. If I was a corrupt cop, I'd be like, and this is mine, zoink.
Yeah, we all know what would happen if you were a corrupt cop. Like,
I would have so many drugs.
You would have, yeah.
We couldn't have kids because I'd just be high all the time.
Okay. That's pretty much what happens when you're a California cop before the legal weed. Actually, probably still after the legal weed. I watched this documentary about the 70s and the sting operations where they'd bring choppers into farms up in the hills. And they still burn pot, right? Mm-hmm. They get the pot and they burn it. And usually they're in the room. But these were massive, huge bonfires, like 20 feet tall stacks of pot that they would light on fire and then stand right next to it. The chopper's up in the air, right in the smoke cloud and everything.
Yeah, no, they're like, for the camera, they put the little respirators on.
Uh-huh.
But then, like, the camera gets shut off and they're like, all right, boys, where's the maypole? Let's get loose.
That's, I believe, what happened in Weiser, Idaho, when they found a big pot farm. Mm-hmm. They did not have respirators, and they burned the field, and the entire department was there, and they were like, because my grandma's brother was the sheriff of Weiser. For a long time. And so he was telling us that, we didn't think to wear masks or respirators or anything, but we lit the field on fire and everybody was super high.
You know, that shit just grows back. Those guys
didn't think. We forgot about that part every time we torched one of these weed fields.
Right.
We didn't forget to bring our Hendrix albums.
or our salami sandwiches.
Yep.
And Cheetos.
Boys, bring 2 lunches today. We're going to torch a pot field. We're going to get hungry for a weird reason.
All right, so 30 years later, he's a cook for a guy named the Lizard. Who's the kingpin of LA, I guess, now.
Who has really bad eczema on one side of his face.
Yeah, Meatloaf's already burnt and toasty before he gets burnt and toasty. What happened?
I think he has eczema.
He's got eczema?
He's got gross face.
Yeah, that's what eczema looks like.
But then when he comes back in the movie after he's been burnt up, he has basically the same gross face. It's like, well, we only got time to put on the makeup once. And I'm starting it right now. I want the makeup on. We already did these other shots. I'm not taking it off and then putting the makeup on. I'll just be gross faced the whole time.
Eczema.
Okay. It's just a very weird makeup choice that he gets grody twice.
He wears a muumuu.
He does wear a muumuu.
His character doesn't make sense.
He doesn't. His name is also the Lizard. And he walks in, the first time he walks into the lab, he's like, God, it's like a reptile house in here, and turns the heat down. Why are you called the Lizard?
Because his face is all scaly and gross from the eczema.
Okay, but...
And he looks like he has lizard skin.
Lean into it, bud, The Kingpin wasn't like, hey, fellas, I'm on a diet this weekend. Also, bowling is stupid. No, he's the kingpin. He goes all in on both sandwiches and bowling.
Yep.
That's how you be a crime boss.
Well, it would have been better if he would have had like a little gecko or something that sat on his shoulder.
Right.
And he was like, what do you think? And then he had like a little pouch of like worms and he would feed the gecko right before he shot somebody.
Right.
And the gecko would be like,
yeah, that's how you be a bad guy. Dude, dumb. Okay, so he's cooking up some stuff. He's got a little Walter White action going on here. He's got the blue. And we meet Dakota Parker, who's Emily Mortimer's character. She's an assassin for hire. She works for the Lizard pretty religiously because I guess she's got debts to him for some reason because she was also on drugs at some point, I guess.
No, that's just how it works. Like, you go across the states to move to Vegas, or you go across the pond and move to Vegas. Think you're doing a job for somebody, it goes sideways on you, then you owe him a bunch of money for their expenses or what. He just basically he's running the racket on her.
Okay.
She just probably doesn't owe him shit.
Okay.
I think she's a gambleaholic.
But he has nothing to do with gambling.
Yeah, but he probably paid off her debts to the loan sharks to acquire her services. And I think it was a setup the whole time because she's got a book on the airplane that's like how to win at poker.
It's true.
So she's like, look, I need to step back, learn the tricks of the trade, how to count cards, and then I'm going to go back and just fucking clean house.
It turns out I walked into Vegas thinking poker was actually Go Fish, and it turns out I'm bad at both of them. So here I am learning how to play poker.
I'm also not good at the game high or low.
Really good at Monopoly, but there's not a lot of gambling there. She's like, well, no, that doesn't work. Hold on. Elmo is quitting. He says, I've had enough of working for you. I'm taking my formula and I'm quitting. I'm not showing up to your damn meeting. I'm leaving the lab and goodbye. And Lizard calls him. He's like, where are you at, bro? We're having a big drug guy meeting. All the other drug bros are here. And you're supposed to be here to like give us PowerPoints and stuff. And he's like, I quit. I'm out. And Lizard's like, you can't do that. I'm the Lizard. Nobody quits on me. And he's like, oh, yeah? Well, it turns out I'm not even on the other line. This is a voicemail. And as soon as you reach this voicemail, it triggers a bomb and blows up your whole business place. Kaboom.
And then
oh, no.
He falls through his own shitty floor like he had designed his own escape route onto a giant pile of baby dolls that go, hey, when he lands on them.
He's got a bunch of dolls in the basement.
Well, before he was the Lizard kingpin of drugs, he was also known as the Grinch. He stole Christmas multiple times.
Okay.
But he really liked the dolls, so he just kind of kept those to himself. But then after a while, you know, the parts got loose, and when he was swimming in them, like Scrooge McDuck, he kind of broke a few of them. So he was like, this is just the doll room.
I don't know where else to put them. My other basement is filled with garbage pail kids. Okay, so he gets all exploded, but he's good, and he calls up Dakota, and he's like, you need to kill Elmo and Durant. And we're like, who the hell's Durant? Okay, whatever. And you got 48 hours, and if you do it, I'll wipe your debts clean. And she's like, and another $250K on top of it. He's like, fine.
I have to back up to the convention of drug dealers. Okay. Was Sammy Hagar in there?
Of course.
Because it looked like Sammy Hagar was there. Sure. I couldn't find the credit list with the extras or anything. There's a lot of incomplete information on this movie, but I'm pretty sure that like Sammy was hanging out with Meatloaf that day or something.
Might have been.
Yeah, I think Sammy Hagar was the biker representative of the drug association. That's what I thought. I was like, is that Sammy Hagar? But then I was like, no.
Is that Sammy?
Yeah, and I was like, no, because if I say that, then Justin's going to be like, shut up, that's not Sammy Hagar. Like I do with all the movies we watch. Hey, is that so-and-so? No. And then we get a close-up of their face, and I'm like, nope, definitely not that person. Who did you think he was?
I thought he was Sammy Hagar.
I thought he was Sammy Hagar. Did you not miss the whole intro of the discussion on why we're talking about Sammy Hagar?
No, I mean, like, which character did you think he was in the drug deal? Did you think he was the biker guy too?
I thought he was Sammy Hagar, and he was only there because he was doing something with Meatloaf later that day. Huh. And they're like, wait, is that Sammy Hagar? And he's like, yeah, I rode here on my skateboard. And they're like, do you want to be in the movie? And he's like, okay. Do I just sit over there? Yep. Cool.
I'm in a movie. Okay. All right. Let's move on from Sammy Hagar. So Elmo's on a plane. He's heading to England. And then Dakota gets on the exact same plane, like, immediately as well. She has very little troubles finding him. Like,
she also has very no bra on, and I like it.
Yeah. Okay.
And we should probably mention that it's important that Elmo is dressed up like a Scotsman.
He's got a kilt on. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's got the whole thing. He's got the little pack in the front. He's got the little hat with the ball on the top. And he's got a set of golf clubs. Mm-hmm. Cobra golf clubs. I don't know anything about golf clubs. I don't know if those
Cobras
are good ones.
are expensive.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. What precedes is a bunch of ball staring at Elmo's balls.
Starting with
there's a lot of this in this movie.
So much ball business. A kid stares at his balls.
Kid's like, oh no, my wiener's never gonna get that big.
Dakota stares at his balls. And
then is immediately shamed by the flight attendant who covers him up.
Ma'am, not cool.
Do not stare at that man's balls while he is passed out, ma'am.
How would you feel if this was in reverse? You know?
And then the kid tries to steal his candy.
Right.
And why is your little knapsack open?
And then so that's a problem. He like, spit it out, kid. Like, I'm saving your life because it's drugs. But we learn later it's not drugs.
Well, there's also a point where if you're going to sneak the secret drugs like that, make them something that no one wants, like laxatives.
Yeah. Right? Well, I mean, which
nobody's going to steal your laxatives.
Yeah. Or like vomitorium stuff. Like, or, yeah, don't package them as candy. Package them as, I guess laxatives.
Yeah.
Trust me, that's the one. That's the one no one's going to steal.
Yeah, cough drops, they're definitely taking you up on that.
Yeah.
But a laxative, nobody's on a 8-hour flight and goes, hey,
man,
I want to shit all over this plane.
They're chocolate coated. Totally worth it.
Might I have one of your chocolate laxatives, please?
You ever seen snakes on a plane? Because you're about to see 47 brown snakes on this plane.
Okay. So the next day in Liverpool, we get introduced to Felix de Souza. That's Robert Carlyle. He is basically a courier for crime guys. He's not exactly high up.
He's the Durant's main heavy.
I don't think he's a heavy at all. I think he's just a courier. His job seems to be go get this and deliver it here. Like, those are the only things he ever does.
I don't even think he might not. I think he's known about town, but I don't think he actually works for Durant. He's just there because Durant was like, hey, if you go pick up this dude, I'll give you 2 tickets to the Manchester match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay.
Yeah.
But then later he says, my boss. So maybe he's just like that guy's on-call carrier.
I think he's just his number one guy.
I don't think he is. He seems too low. He doesn't seem like tough enough to be a number one guy.
When they go in later in the scene, when they all meet or whatever, he kind of struts around like he owns the place, pisses and moans about having to take his gun off. Nobody gets in his way. Everyone does what he says.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. I'm going to go with, he's high up there.
I don't think
he's like the remote worker.
I think he's a trusted courier. I'm sticking with it. You can't budge me. Anyways, so
but he's training the idiot guy.
He's on his way to pick up Elmo, who is to meet with Durant and Durant's chemist, who is, and then the chemist is gonna be like, yeah, this is good stuff. Pay the man, and then Elmo gets his 20 million and goes on about his day. Pretty clean cut deal right here. But instead, again, he can't be that high up because he's a total buffoon. He's like, I'm not going straight to that meeting. That stupid American guy can wait. I don't even like America. Tomorrow is Man U versus Liverpool. That's a much bigger deal. I got to go in and cause some hooliganism in a Man U bar.
He says something about the tickets, and you're like, wait, there tickets in there? What is he doing? But he just walks in and starts fucking with Manchester fans by throwing a road flare in their bar.
Yeah, he's just hooligan in it.
It's dumb.
Yeah, this is what these guys are like, man.
That's what soccer brings out in people.
Yeah, it's gang warfare over there, essentially. I want to have nothing to do with it. Like, stop it. Stop fighting over soccer, guys.
Says no one outside of a Philadelphia New York Giants football game in the tailgate.
Exactly.
You're going to see some people punch each other in the fucking face.
Okay, so, yeah, he causes shenanigans, but he gets back in the car. They take off getting chased on foot by other hooligans. And he's like, wait, where's the chemist? He's like, I left him at the bar. Why did the guy get out of the car at all? Because he was not involved in the bar scene in any sort of way at any point in time.
Well, he got out when they first pulled up, and he's like, hey, fart knocker, get back in the car. We gotta go. And he's like, no, just fucking wait for me. Because they all got out of the car.
So get back in the car.
I don't know what this guy was doing.
They drove off without the chemist. And then he's like, well, go back and get the chemist. I'll go meet the American and stall him while you go get the chemist. While you take care of the chemist. And he comes back and he's like, hey, where's the chemist? I took care of him. Where's he at? He's in the trunk. He's dead. I took care of him. Like you said, that's not... Where are you at on this plan? Even if I was to say take care of him, you know that he was supposed to meet somebody. At no point was this guy in any discussion of getting shot or whatever he did. There's no way I could be high up. There's no way.
I think this guy is new.
My man is too stupid.
Frederick seems to receive a friend's welcome in the thing too. Like, these guys this is just the sort of operation that he's now having to deal with after whacking the lizard.
I believe the partner is probably related to Durant at some point in some way. And he's like, look, you got to give my cousin a job. And he's like, all right, he can be a courier. And then he's like, and a bullet catcher if needed.
Yeah. Yeah. He's essentially the crappy bullet tooth Tony in this movie. But yeah, so they pick up Samuel Elmo, and he's like, where's the fucking chemist? And I'm sorry, let me do that better. Where's the motherfucking chemist? He's dead. Motherfucker, who the fuck are motherfucking you? And motherfucking where's Durant? Get to motherfucking Durant on the motherfucking phone, you motherfucker. And he does. He's like, hello, this is Durant. And he's like, motherfucker, where's the motherfucking chemist? It's hard to say motherfucker this much, honestly. I don't know how he does it.
He goes slowly and he gets angry in between.
Right.
Motherfucker! Are you listening to me?
That was also a pretty good Bill Cosby right there, Sam.
No, that good Bill Cosby is like, here's a drink.
Oh.
Motherfucker.
Oh.
So he's like, oh, I'm sorry. I will get you a new chemist. The other one I got, he doesn't hear so well. He doesn't talk so well. But he will give hand signals to say whether things are good or not. Okay, that sounds fine. So they go and they meet him in the hotel room. And inside the hotel room, Emily Dakota, she's already set up across the street as a sniper in her sniper position. She's got a bead on Samuel L. already. And Felix is like, wait, my Felix senses tingling. My girlfriend, she's somewhere nearby. And so he starts closing the blind. Well, and then he stands in front of the other one, blocking her shot from Samuel L.
This is where you're like, he's an idiot. He's not the number one guy. And I'm like, he's the only one that's like, this $20 million deal probably needs these blinds closed.
What?
So that nobody gets shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I start dealing drugs, that's what I'm going to do. It's always just leave the blinds closed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be taken out.
So Elmo explains what he's got. He doesn't explain why he has his golf clubs with him. But anyways.
That never gets explained.
It does.
Sort of. Just check it in someplace, bud. Anyways, so he's like, all right, so what I've got is this super drug that is 51 times better than anything else on the market. Anything. So I'm calling it POS 51.
times more hallucinogenic than LSD. And then everyone went, no one wants that.
No.
No one wants that at all. You crazy bastard, get out of here.
It's 51 more times makes you fall asleepy than heroin. Okay. It makes you 51 more times bonery than Viagra. It makes you 51 more times more diarrhea-y than
cocaine.
It makes you 51. No, he goes through. Cocaine doesn't make you diarrhea-y. Cocaine plugs you up.
It does? I thought cocaine would make you have the shits.
Why?
Because, I don't know, it makes everything work faster.
I don't think you know anything.
So your colon's like an ice cream truck.
Like an ice cream truck.
Ice cream trucks are known for pooping.
Filling up those cones.
Okay.
One day I'm going to poop in an ice cream cone. It's a lifelong dream. I don't know. I'm just kidding. Maybe. Don't look at me like that.
That was a different movie. Somebody already made that movie.
Yep. We don't like to talk about that movie.
Yeah, let's we got to start picking better movies so she doesn't have to have time to say weird shit.
Well, she picked this movie so she could say shit like that.
I know, she does this every damn time. Can we go back to the singing and dancing movies that you were picking?
Why? Because so you can yell at me for singing and dancing during the movie?
But at least you're not like, I'm going to poop in an ice cream cone. That's a life goal. You know what? Just go do it. Just go get it done. If that's what it takes for you to de-elevate from space into and be part of society with the rest of us whose brains actually function rationally, just go poop in an ice cream cup and get it done.
Well, I would, but I've been on this salad diet lately, and that's not going to make for a good ice cream cone. Oh,
my God. All right, we need to move
Confetti cone.
We gotta get
Holiday splash.
I got to find an exit. Cypher, find me an exit. All right, so Dakota, she's got the shot. Felix is in the way, and Elmo's like, "Wait, dude, you were gonna pay me $20 million," and Durant's like, "Dude, that's not how drug deals work. This is a down payment. I gotta make sure this shit's legit and give it to all the kids." He's like, "Well, I'm getting the fuck out of here." And Dakota's phone rings, and it's the Lizard, and he's like, "Hey, I guess I had secret recording microphone devices in that room because I just realized that Elmo is now worth $20 million, and he's still got the secret formula for this ultimate drug that makes everything 51 times better. So don't kill him."
He just remembered because he was like, "I'm so mad, kill everybody." And then he gets up and like, "Oh shit, I need that drug formula. I got my temper getting the best of me, sweetheart. Only shoot everybody but that guy that knows the drug secrets."
But he says he's worth $20 million. That's the
deal he made him.
After saying he's worth $20 million in a room. I don't know. It seems suspicious to me. I think you're defending plot holes in this film, Sam. Anyway, okay. So she's like, "Okay, I won't shoot him. I don't. My deal is killing people, not killing people." And he's like, "Okay, kill people." She's like, lights up the whole damn room.
Yeah, he's like, "I'll make more money for you in your account. Just keep him safe."
Yeah, kill everybody but him. Okay,
but don't let him make any deals. Which is a prostitute's worst nightmare.
Kill people?
No, don't let her make any deals.
Yeah, prostitutes have nightmares about that. They wake up in a cold sweat saying, "Gee, that was scary. I wasn't a prostitute for a minute."
Oh my God, I didn't make any money today. All my Johns got shot in the head.
I'm lost.
Okay, yeah, never mind.
So is Jackie. She's detached herself from reality once again. You should get a job at Fox News.
Well, I applied, but they said something about shitting in a cone, and I was like, "No, I can't do that."
You got canceled. All right, so the room gets all shot up. Everybody's dead except for Elmo and Phoenix, and we find out later Durant. And so they're like, get the hell out of here. And they run down. And now we get introduced to these Nazi scumbags that are also drug dealers or trying to be drug dealers or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm here to break up this drug deal. Give me your formula that we don't know about, or come work for us, or whatever our motivations are. We're not sure because we don't have time to say because Samuel L. is about to hit us in the face with golf clubs.
4.
Do you think if you hit somebody with a golf club in the face, would it ruin your golf club?
It would ruin your face.
It would definitely ruin your face. I don't know. It depends on if you're using Ping, Callaway, or Cobras.
Apparently Cobras don't, they can take a lot of heat.
I think you could hit, I think you could bend your golf club.
You can probably whack somebody in the head pretty good a few times before you fucked it up because of the impact that they're designed to take.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's not like, well, you can break a baseball bat probably over somebody's face. I don't know. I guess I'm not into, I don't have a lot of experience with busting sports objects over people's lids.
If you want a tool that's going to work for torture over and over again, that's where the pros turn to the hammer and the kneecap method. Yeah, but those hammers last a long time.
Well, it's got to be sports related, Sam. Otherwise, it's not fun.
I'll put a little keychain on there. Go Man U.
or like a cut in half tennis ball like old people have on the bottom of their walkers. You put that on the end of the hammer. Then you're like, McEnroe, whack.
Some little googly eyes on the top of the hammer.
Googly eyes aren't sporting.
Could be. If it's a mascot, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. If you put a swimsuit over a crowbar, you can do a lot of damage with that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's weird.
If we're talking about putting a tennis ball on the end of a hammer.
What is swimsuit? Okay. Man. Derailed once again. I think I was about to serve up a real good joke here with that McEnroe stuff, but now it's all over. Anyways, okay, so they beat up these Nazis, and they get in the car, and they're chased by the cops. Question mark? Who are these cops? Are these cops dirty, or what's the cops deal?
They're just cops.
Okay, they're copping.
They're nitwits.
Okay.
Yeah, I think originally they came because there was gunfire in the hotel, and then the dirty cop sees...
Is he dirty? I don't know if he's dirty.
He's not.
He is
They're just
dirty.
nitwits.
He is dirty?
He is dirty. He's like, get that dying guy over here because we need to make a new deal.
Ah.
And then I'll...
Oh, yeah. They do murderify Leopold, so they're both pretty dirty.
Yeah, they're dirty.
Yeah, the one guy's not dirty. The gray-haired guy is not dirty. But the brown-haired guy is a dirty cop.
Okay.
Who's been in the drug business before, and he's trying to get his cut.
And Dakota, she runs down the stairs, and she sees the Nazis, and so she kicks one in the face and steals his motorcycle, and she's on pursuit. And so they're driving through town, and they're effing cars up left and right. Jag's getting pretty effed up pretty good here, and they pull into an alleyway, and they're like, whew, that was over. And then the dirty cop pulls into the alleyway, and he's like, oh, man, motherfucker, I got to run him over, motherfucker. And so they have a game of chicken in the alleyway.
Yeah, Sean Pertwee gives up. He's like, oh, no, I'm going to back up. Chicken. Nobody plays chicken.
Like in real life or in movies?
Ever. I mean, they do in movies, but it's like, no, nobody's going to do that.
I think in the South they probably do.
What?
Seems like something you'd do in pickup trucks.
Play chicken.
Yeah.
Don't you have to have like motivation to play chicken?
Yeah, you hate each other.
So the Southerners just hate each other?
I'm going to be the football guy, and you're going to be the catcher guy. And if I win chicken, then you have to be the catcher guy.
So the South went from
10
paces, turn and shoot to let's get in our trucks and run each other over.
What does the football guy do to the catcher guy, Jackie?
He throws the football to him. He gets to be the guy who throws the football. And then the other guy has to be the guy who catches the football.
You decide who's the quarterback and the receiver based upon a game of death?
Yes.
The catcher and the thrower.
That's what I'm going to call my next book. The Catcher and the Thrower. The Deadly Sins of Chicken.
I think she was on some Formula 51 before we started this. What a weirdo. Okay, all right.
There's just so many opportunities to be weird during this movie. I'm sorry.
It's hard for us to keep up. So the cop pulls out. He loses. They get away. But Elmo's like, that's not motherfucking good enough. We got to really ditch this car. And so he jumps it onto a junk barge. And they float off to safety. Yay.
There's a moderately amusing haggle over a car here. Moderately.
Yeah. I'll give you my Mini Cooper, and you give me £100.
That's it? That's okay. Well.
And he's like, I'm not selling my car for you. And then Samuel Jackson gets up in his face like, look, you are going to sell your car, motherfucker. Did I do the motherfucker right?
All right. So the cops are in the hotel room. They're going through the evidence, and they find all the bodies, and they find a living Durant. So they take Durant to a warehouse because that's what the movies do. And they string him up upside down. He's bleeding out pretty good. It looks like he got shot in the heart. And they're telling him, you're dying, bud. You got to see a doctor. He's like, I'm already dead. I got shot in the heart, guys. Bled out takes it's like 2 seconds to bleed out if you're shot in the heart. You're done. Doesn't work anymore. It's required to pump blood into my brain. My brain needs air to be alive. And I died. Goodbye. I'm off to heaven.
I believe that man is going to purgatory.
Don't do what I did in life, said the ghost as it flies up.
Yeah, he's the ghost of drug dealers past. Comes and visits them when you're like, okay, this guy's pretty redeemable.
Be better than me. I can see my house from here. Okay, all right. So he's like, give me a better deal, Durant. And Durant's like, I don't have a choice. I need to see a doctor. He's like, okay, let him go. And the crane operator that's got him attached to a shipping crate just throws the switch off and the whole thing falls and smashes Durant.
Yep.
He's dead. He's pancaked. And then they're like, oh shit, get it up. And so they pull the crate up, and then he's all smushed like a cartoon character.
Like a spider in your bathtub.
So they get the spatula, and they, like...
No, they just left him there.
Bicycle pump him back up, and they're like, where are the drugs?
Oh, man. I'm pretty sure that actually happened in an episode of Adam West's Batman. Meanwhile... Elmo's like, all right, I'll give you 5% to Felix if you can set up a new deal. And Felix is like, all right, well, I know a few people around town. I'll call Dakota's gun guy, who we got introduced at the beginning of the movie when she needed guns. He's also into drugs, I guess. So, and he's rich. So we'll try that avenue.
And he's got a nightclub.
Yeah, he's got a nightclub and all that. So they go to Felix's mom's house first. No, she goes to Felix's mom's house, and she's like, "Hey, I know that the Singer Madness guys haven't talked about it at all, but Felix was my boyfriend, and we really liked each other, and I don't know if it's really plot relevant why we broke up, but I need to know where he's at, and also it's really good to see you. You were almost my mother-in-law."
Are you still killing people for a living?
Yeah. Definitely still doing that.
Come on in.
Okay. All right.
Would you like some tea?
You still doing bridge?
Yeah.
Bridge good? Okay.
I haven't won in a while, though.
Okay. You want me to whack those? You want me to shoot them? I'll shoot them.
No, his mom has a hammer with some googly eyes on it. For those that like to cheat at cards, say.
With a tennis ball on the end.
Yeah.
I'll McEnroy you.
McEnroy. All right. So... the boys stop at this drugstore because they got to get goods to make their new drugs. And the Nazis find them there because I guess the Nazis are just like, walking down the street. Oh, hey, I got to get some medicated wipes for my hemorrhoids. Let's just pop into this drugstore. Oh, hey, shit, it's those guys. And they're like, well, why don't you take us to your drug lab? You guys got a drug lab, right? Yeah, we got a drug lab. Okay, well, it just so happens that I need a drug lab to make drugs in, so let's go check it out.
Yeah, the idiots are like, what do you think, we're amateurs? And then it cuts to them like making the I want to lick your pussy tongue thing into a magnified mirror, which is disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
Did they just like go down to a college or something and hijack some space? Because this doesn't seem like it's their lab. No. Also, it's like there's animals and chemistry together.
Right.
And a monkey who likes to flip backwards.
Yeah, and it's fairly clean. You know?
Yeah.
This isn't theirs. They just know how to break into a place.
Yeah. All right. So he's like, all right, here's what I got. I got these blue ones and I got these red ones. And if you take the red ones, if you take the blue ones, you'll wake up in your bed and forget that anything happened, and you can go on believing ignorance is bliss. But if you take these red ones, then you're gonna join QAnon and try to take down the U.S. government.
And they work in 60 seconds.
Yeah, and they work in 60 seconds. They're like, dude, I'm,
You take one.
Lizard people are full of lies. I'll take a red one, but you take one first. And so he pops a red pill, and he's like, yum, yum, yum. Let's take down the man. And they're like, give me those Nazi pills. And so they take a bunch of them, and he's like, I didn't take one of those Nazi pills. Are you fucking stupid? He spits it out on the ground, and they're like, uh-oh, my tummy hurts.
Well, anytime you're going to take a handful of some super drugs.
Right. 51 times more powerful than concrete.
Than
concrete,
which is where you're going to end up if you're part of the mafia. Mm-hmm. And you shove a handful of drugs in your mouth. That's probably never a good thing.
Probably not.
I mean, I don't know anybody who just goes and takes like a handful of weed and starts eating it. Or a handful of mushrooms and starts eating it. I mean, you gotta pace yourself.
I know a guy that takes a handful of mushrooms and starts eating them. I know one guy.
Who's that?
Well,
We're not talking about him.
We're not talking about him.
I don't want to talk about him.
Dun dun dun.
Oh, Sam.
Dude, who do you think?
It's Sam, isn't it?
I'm not naming any names on this podcast, but his name rhymes with Sam. Okay. All right, so they're like, oh my God, I can't fight the Civil War today. And they just start shitting themselves. And it's so stupid. Like, where are you at on the pooping and train spotting, Sam?
I don't know where I'm at on train spotting.
Right?
I'll be real honest with you.
Okay.
I don't know where I'm at on Danny Boyle.
Right? And see, my instant next thought was, hey, where are you at on that pooping thing from Slumdog Millionaire, Sam? And then I wait a minute, that's Danny Boyle. Danny Boyle's got a thing with poop.
Yep.
He's a piece of poop guy.
Oh, Danny Boyle, the poop is calling.
Jackie, you should get on the phone and see if you could work with Danny Boyle.
We'd have a really good show. It'd be poop cones.
That's it.
And in this challenge, we'll see who can poop the most aesthetically pleasing ice cream cone.
Either way, I am going to put the pooping in both Slumdog Millionaire and Train Spotting way higher than this scene because it's dumb here. It's not funny.
It's still just gross.
It's just they're like, I can't stand from the Duke in my pants.
No, what happens? Your stomach cramps so bad that you cannot stand, and you just shit everywhere.
But how much is in there? This goes on for like a long time.
These guys seem to eat a lot of like processed foods, burritos, pizzas. It's going to be bad.
I mean,
and it's going to stink.
Like he has time to
also
monologue.
Your body, when it has that reaction, is going to flood your intestines with whatever liquid it can put through itself.
Uh-huh.
So you're basically just like spraying. Once you run out of actual shit to shit and your reserved water, you're just spraying bile out your ass.
Yep.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay, all right.
Which has to be unpleasant.
Yeah.
As somebody who's had a couple of colonoscopies, yes, it is extremely unpleasant and it makes your butthole completely chafed.
Okay, all right.
It's gross and it's bright yellow.
So they leave. They're like, goodbye. here's some TP. They're throwing paper towels like Trump threw at the flood victims. And clean that up. Bing, bing.
What are they going to do with this toilet paper? Like, you're on the ground. You should just undo your pants and pull them down by your knees and just let whatever's going to happen.
Hey, motherfucker.
Because of the way that they're rolling around in their own shit, they can at least use the toilet paper to get their hands and faces clean of their own shit.
Hey, motherfucker. Clean up on aisle pants.
That was fucking lame. I mean, at least my shitting in an ice cream cone is somewhat stimulating to the mind. Like, how do you do it?
Stimulating to the...
How do you get the perfect swirl? Will it look like Dairy Queen?
Stimulating
like
to the mind, she says. J. Oppenheimer and Einstein had nothing on Jackie's poop cone talk. They could not stimulate minds in the same way that poop cones do.
Well, I'm talking to the common man. I'm not Einstein.
I'm talking to those southern boys in those pickup trucks fighting over football. Hey, poop cone.
All right, I lost.
Them are stupid poop cones.
I ended up in the ditch. I will be the receiver. Now I know what it's called. The catcher guy.
Catcher guy. I'm out.
So, but once he catches it, he just has to throw it back.
Maybe that's the whole thing. It's a misunderstanding. The guy can't throw it very good. So they get in, he's like, hold on, I'll bring it over to you. And he gets into his pickup truck and drives over to the quarterback and they smash into each other. Oops.
Or they're like, hey, do you want to play football? I'll be the thrower guy and you be the catcher guy. And he goes, okay. And they throw it and he catches it and they're like, that was a lot of fun. See you next week.
Goodbye. Why are we wearing tuxedos, by the way?
Because this is Friday Night Lights.
I think you missed a Room reference there, honey.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, fail. Get off this podcast right now.
Fine. You know what? I'm just going to go make myself another drink. Don't talk about anything cool while I'm gone.
Sam and I will finish off this movie because I guess that's not going to be a problem.
No poop cone talk while I'm out of the room, boys. That's my running joke today.
Okay, so they leave the guys pooping on the floor, and they take the real Formula 51, and they go to this rave club where the other guy's at, the gun guy, and he's like, you stay here and keep an eye out for your girlfriend, I guess. I'm going to go make this deal. And Felix is like, oh, hey, there's Dakota. I'll go over there by the bar to her and be like, hey, what are you doing here? And she's like, I come here often, big boy. And then they make googly eyes to each other and then stick guns in each other's bellies and balls. And she's like, do me right here. And he's like, I will. And they get all slimy in each other's face. And then he's like, hey, wait, where are you going? And it turns out she handcuffed him to the bar.
Yeah, the police are there.
Yeah.
I mean, if this police officer is trying to get into the drug cut, raiding the place where the drugs are at, probably not great.
Mm-hmm.
And before this happens, Samuel gets up on stage before the police raid and is like, we are revolutionizing the drugs. And then he throws them out.
And the DJ's like, wait, man, who are you? Oh, drugs.
I'm down.
That pastel M&M hit me in the eye.
Yeah, I like how he just chucks out these M&Ms. And they all end up on the floor. You know, you can't catch a handful of M&Ms. Are you crazy? They bounce off your hand. They just end up on the floor. And have you ever been on, looked at the floor in the morning of a nightclub? You don't want to eat anything off that floor.
And not to mention everybody's still standing upright, right, during the pill throw.
There's lots of smash drugs.
Yeah, but everybody would be down on the floor trying to pick them up.
Uh-huh.
They wouldn't be like...
bonking heads.
Yeah, I mean, it would be like a frenzy.
Skirts would be getting ripped because, those, tight skirts, you can't really crawl on your hands and knees on them.
You can't sit down in some of those.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to
get all ruined.
You're going to rip a seam.
Your $200 pants that you bought at J. Crew, they're getting ripped up and torn because you're a junkie. You're You're a nightclub junkie.
And then it'll be like, hey, did you rip those pants last weekend at the pill popping party?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, I think they look cooler that way. And, how are the drugs?
Meanwhile, Jimmy Buffett's got his 2 martini glasses drained, and he's just catching all the drugs in it. Okay, all right. Sam doesn't like these drug jokes. He's like, it's not funny. It's real life.
You don't understand how hard it is to get free drugs.
Just like Fat Mike from NoFX said, the only real drug problem is getting real good drugs.
So the cops come in, they bust this whole thing up. And Dakota, it's a double cross. She grabs Elmo and she takes him up onto the roof. And the lizard calls from a plane. He's like, hey, remember me? I bet she thought I was dead. Turns out I'm not. I just got to gross her face. And I'm coming to get you. And my plane will be, I go through Heathrow. And then I was thinking about taking the shuttle up to the 4. Do you think the 4? I know it's late and the 4 gets pretty bad, but I could either take the 4 or the 1.
This is not California.
Right, but you still have to, you don't just call from a plane and be like, take him up on top of the building. When you land in England, you've got a whole, like, I'll see you tomorrow. Also, Liverpool's nowhere near London. And I don't think you can just fly from America to Liverpool. I think you got to go through, I think you got to go through
Heathrow?
Well, no, you don't have to go through Heathrow. You
got to get a rental car. Let's be realistic.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I'm gonna land in Blackpool. I'm gonna land in Blackpool. I think there's an international in Blackpool. And then I've got it lined up with Enterprise. I'm thinking about a Mini Cooper. What do you guys think about a Mini Cooper?
How much luggage did you bring?
Or should I go like really foreign and get like a Vauxhall or something? Say, hey, we don't have those in the States. It's fun. Do you guys think I should get a Vauxhall?
Get a Corvette.
A Renault.
I could get a Renault. Well,
get a Renault.
I am Meatloaf. I don't know if I can fit in a Renault. Let's be honest. I should probably get a Chevrolet. That's a Vauxhall, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, so we can have vengeance. But I'm nowhere near you because I'm on a goddamn airplane.
So don't do that.
Yeah, don't take him up to the roof. You need to take him to a place and put him in a chair in handcuffs because I'm not going to be there until tomorrow. Stupids. She's like, okay, let's go up to the roof. And he's like, double cross. You double cross me, I'll throw you off this building. And she's like, oh, I wasn't a very good assassin to begin with, I guess.
I think the point of taking him to the roof was to get him away from the police so that they could climb down the side of the building in the back where the police are not at and escape.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work. The roof was a bad idea.
The roof is a bad idea. Is there a chopper up there? You gonna latch onto a ladder and fly away with him?
Well, the way that Meatloaf's talking, he's like, the international flight is gonna fly over the top of this building. Grab onto the string.
Hold on, I'll reach down and grab him. Look, it's fucking dumb. All right, so he's like, okay, well now the tables have turned. You're hanging from the side of a building. And I'm going to let you go, but I'm not going to because I saw you guys kissing earlier. I really do like Felix. I think he's a hell of a guy. And I want him to be friends. I want us all to be friends, and I want you to be happy. So your choice is either I'm going to drop you or treat him like the prince that he is. God damn it. And also I'll give you...
You're in love. Don't you see that?
I'll give you $1 million as well. And she's like, $2 million.
10%.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
He'd say, do not get choosy with me, bitch. And she's like, I'm getting choosy with you. And he's like, fine.
I also like that Felix is only getting like 5%.
Right?
And she's getting like 20.
No, she gets 10.
She gets 10.
Yeah, he gets 1 million, she gets 2.
So she can be like, you are a shitty negotiator when they're living
He's
in
not
Paris.
as good as she is. They both know that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, once they get married, I don't know if they have a... Like they do here, where it's common law, right? Everything is 50-50 split.
I'm not sure how that works in England.
But, he's like, he's okay with it because,
Doesn't even work that way in all the United States, so...
Right, so maybe he's just like, well, I guess you're going to pick up the tab at dinner.
What's yours is mine.
5% more of the time.
What's yours is mine, and what's mine is ours.
Okay.
Little rascals.
I spent $200 on a fireplace thing.
Yeah, it was a bad call.
Ah, it was awesome.
Okay. What the hell? Okay, so the cops did arrest Felix, I guess, and he's like, "Tell me where the drugs are." And Felix is like, "No."
You gotta do it in the bat voice.
I broke the handcuffs off, and the cop is like, "Oh, well, I guess if you break the handcuffs off, here's my car keys, and you can leave, sir."
No.
Oh no.
He
So
shot
what
it
happens
off.
is
So
he shot himself. He shot his own handcuff off. He still has it on. He's not going to sing. They're at the end of their song and dance where he doesn't sing. And he's like, "By the way, I still have this thing attached to me. Can you get it off before I leave here?" And he's like, "Sure." We did our whole song and dance. Then when they're walking down the hallway, he steals the lawyer of Icky, Reese Ifans' character's car keys by doing the snatch and grab bump thing.
So let me get this straight. If you're wanted for murder and solicitation of drugs and also whatever drug illegal substance brokering, where like 10 dudes got murdered in a hotel room and we saw you leaving that hotel room and there was a whole car chase and you smashed up a bunch of people, like 15 people died in that car chase. They were just not even drug people. They were just people going to work. If you say to the cops, "See, my handcuffs aren't on," you just get to leave? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Plus he knows him, I guess.
I'm not going to talk.
Then you
can leave,
heard
sir.
that you had a rough morning involving a shipping container.
You can just go then. Goodbye.
I did have a rough morning involving a shipping container. You're right. I'll see you next time.
You're the linchpin to my entire case. But you know what? I guess if you want to leave, you can. You can just do that in England.
They have no evidence. They did not see him leave the hotel room. They do not know that he was there. They chased him on a whim, and then the cop got his shit.
Oh, they got evidence.
They don't have evidence that he was there.
He's not going to sing.
What are
and
security
so he just,
cameras, Jackie?
The song and dance is over. He's not going to sing. You're going to have a better chance finding the big cheese if you tail the rat.
So
they're going to tail the
what
rat.
you're saying is, if you can get involved with cops in England and just make it all some sort of big game and say, "I'm not telling you anything, copper," and the copper's like, "You're going to talk or else," and you're like, "Never," and the cop's like, "Okay, go have a good day, sir."
It's like the game of
You
Mousetrap.
turn it into a big game with the police and fill in the blank, and they're like, I wasn't doing anything right now. Like, half the time you get pulled over, you'd be like, "Think you catch this Saturn?" Like, "I don't know, run, rabbit, run."
Right.
Let's find out together.
Right. So, whereas in America, they put you in a small room, leave you in there for 24 hours because they have to leave you. They can do that. You don't have to have anything for 24 hours. And then at the end of that 24 hours, somebody comes in with a phone book and beats the holy living fuck out of you just because you were a witness to a crime and you don't want to talk because if you talk, then you have to give testimony. And then the mob guy knows that it was you, and then he shoots you and your entire family. And so you're like, "I don't want my family to die, officer." And that officer's just beating you in the face with the phone book. That's what happens in the United States. But if you just say, "Ha ha ha, this is like chess, is it?" In the UK, they're like, "Dang it, you're right. Goodbye." He doesn't get to walk out of there. He does not get to just be like, "I'm leaving. Goodbye."
Well, and I like how he gets released the same time that the guy with the lawyer gets released. Like, that's not, no.
Right? And they both they're like, "Oh, hey, I loved you in Wall Street." And they pass in the hallway and they
High five.
Go about their day. Crime sounds awesome in England. Like, we should all start doing crimes in England. But like the nice kind of crimes.
Well, I think that we'd get picked off by the pikeys.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, especially because the crime I was going to suggest would be like jaywalking. They'd be like, "Dude, we're pikeys. Like, traveling illegally is our entire thing. You can't jaywalk on our turf."
See, and I was thinking breaking into an old lady's house and filling her fridge full of groceries.
Oh, that is nasty.
Yeah. I mean, I might have busted a window lock, but you have groceries now for a month, old lady. You gonna report me to the police?
She's like, DiGiorno's? That's disgusting. And then she pulls out a shotgun and shoots us.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna go there. We're gonna find somebody that has a bunch of pirated DVDs for sale. We're gonna buy them, and then we're gonna pirate them, the pirated DVDs, and sell them across the street from the guy that we bought them from for half price.
And that's when the big bucks come in.
Yep.
Or go out.
Breaking even's the best case scenario.
Oh my God.
All right, so so they go back to Felix's mom's house, and Dakota and Elmo are there, and they're like, "Oh, hey, what's up? You want some bangers and mash?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't know. I haven't really tried British breakfast anymore." And he's like, "Well, here's the weird thing. We eat cold beans and hot tomatoes." And he's like, "That does not make sense. Why the hell would you have cold beans and a hot tomato? Flip it around and it sounds amazing." He's like, "Well, you want some blood pudding?" And he's like, "Of course I want some blood pudding. What is it made out of?" And he's like, "Blood." And he's like, "Well, where's the pudding part come in?" He's like, "There is no pudding. It's just blood." And he's like, "Well, that's pretty stumped." I mean, like, I'll stick with the bangers, I guess. And then he bites into a banger and he's like, "Wait, this isn't sausage." And they're like, "Hell no, it's haggis."
Yep, nothing will ever be as funny to me as when we traveled to England, Justin and I, and we went to an American themed cafe, and it was like an American breakfast.
And it was like retro, where like a 50s 50s bebop. Malt shop.
It was like the classic American breakfast, and it comes and it has like baked beans and all this weird shit.
Cold baked beans. And I'm like, well, okay, we are in a mall, and this is like some sort of stupid thing, so maybe they don't eat cold beans. But no, they were baked beans that were cold, and then I ordered them again at another place, and it's cold baked beans. I'm like, why would you have cold baked beans?
It's just like the weirdest thing ever. And nobody eats baked beans and tomatoes with their breakfast here. It's like a random tomato on your plate. Thanks.
What are you talking about? Every breakfast that I tried had... Do you think I just judged all of England off of one stupid restaurant? No. That is the breakfast, Jackie, is cold beans and a hot tomato. Every single one of them had a hot tomato on it.
It's weird.
I don't know how you don't remember that part. Hot tomato. Half a hot tomato. Cut like a pumpkin.
They're like, hot tomato, pass it on. Hot tomato, pass it on.
Brown sauce. Put some brown sauce on your cold baked beans. Are these beans even baked?
Aren't cold baked beans made of brown sauce?
Yeah, they are brown sauce. So you put some more brown sauce on. And also they're baked, which implies that at one point they got hot, but then we put them in the fridge to cool them down.
Get rid of the hot tomato.
Shouldn't it? Well, then why not just make them unbaked beans? It's not like eating a raw bean is going to, oh, I'm sick to my stomach. I ate raw beans. No, just why even cook them then if you're just going to serve them cold? Just have unbaked beans in brown sauce. A British staple. Why do you guys cook your beans and then serve them cold and then say put more brown sauce on them? I mean, but look, Samuel L. threw some goddamn fish and chips out the window, and I'm not going to forgive him for that.
No, those look good.
Oh my God, their fish and chips over there are just mind blowing. I don't even order them here now because you get ruined.
Yeah. Okay. We need to talk about this movie. So they're like,
this is the no screwing part.
Yeah, don't go upstairs and bang. And she's not wearing any pants. And they're like, don't bang up there. And he's like, she's not wearing pants.
I believe the correct term is shag, sir.
Yeah. But she's not wearing pants. She's following me up here like, what do you think we're doing?
Whose shirt is that?
She doesn't have pants on. What am I supposed to do?
And then, rather than just shag, they fuck up the whole bathroom.
That's what I told Justin. I'm like, this is the weirdest sex scene ever.
It's not a gross sex scene where that I don't think those people had fun. I'm not sure if they had fun, but I'd still put this in like the top 5 weirdest sex scenes we've had on Stinker Madness. Up there with Roadhouse, Showdown in Little Tokyo. We just had a weird sex scene not very long ago. We were talking about it.
I've never seen a sex scene, though, with somebody where the man has bloody underwear on.
Right.
And then they roll around in a bathtub with all these squeaky toys that you would give to your dog.
Did you? Whose squeaky toys are those?
I know. It's like, were you planning on... When did you run that bathwater? Because she was like right behind you.
She's like, hey, I know it's been a really long time since we've seen each other and I've really missed you. And he's like, well, that's good to hear because I've really missed you, baby. But hold on, I've got to put my rubber ducky in the bath.
And my rubber frog.
It's about to be bath time and I need to get my rubber ducky. And she's like, oh my God, this is why we broke up. I'd forgotten.
Where's my froggy?
Yeah, he's got all these he's got a kingdom of bath animals that he's got in his bathtub with him, and he's already placed them, right?
He's basically Francis from Pee-wee. Stop looking at me, Swan. She's like, I love you, but I can't deal with the bathtub thing anymore.
And then they get in the bathtub and they're fully clothed still, and then you see both of their underwears hit the thing, and it's like, yeah. Are you ever going to get treatment for that shot that I put through your ass, or are you just going to continually bleed out? Because
I mean,
that's going to make this bathwater not so great.
It is looking pretty rough. I mean,
it's looking infected.
Like the blood has you didn't even get clotted up with blood. You just got clotted up with pus.
She shot him in the ass with a 223. He's not in good shape.
No. How's your hip feeling?
Not unless she shot him clean. Well, the way that it looks in the underwear is that she shot him clean through
the butt cheek.
The butt cheek.
Yeah, but he didn't get ever stitched up. Even if it's a clean shot, in and out.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is dead.
Yeah,
that's why his
infected.
butt has bled out.
It's infected real bad.
And she's like, "We'll just have the sex in the bathtub, and that'll wash it all out."
You know, I had a problem with your rubby ducky fetish before. Whenever you wanted to have sex, and you're like, "Hold on, rubber ducky's got to be here for this." But really, your butt is grossing me out more than anything. You now have Frankenstein's ass. Fire bad.
Well, imagine the first time he pumps and then the pus squirts from his side. He's like, oh, he thrusts in and then the pus comes out and he's like, sorry about that, baby. And it hits the shower wall and it's just there. And it's just kind of dripping down the side. She's like, and it just keeps happening. And then soon it turns into blood again. And his mom.
Harvey Keitel has to clean up this bathroom.
And his mom goes up there later. She's like, son of a bitch.
Oh my God, it's like a murder scene. Well, I am dying. All right, so that's done. And they call up the dealer and they arrange a meeting and they're like, we got to do it someplace public because it's just a bro deal that I'm doing for my bro Felix here. He wants to go to the football game, so let's take him to the football game. And he's like, that's cool, I got a suite. Come on up. And he comes up, they go up to the football game, and they're like, yeah, dude, what a great view. Let's do this drug deal. And Elmo's like, okay, here's the formula. It's written in invisible ink, and you heat up the invisible ink on this postcard. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's some cool espionage type stuff, like James Bondy. And where's my money? He's like, here's all these bonds, untrackable. And they're like, okay, good day to you, sir. Oh, but wait. Dakota comes in and she's like, double cross. And everybody's like, slaps her forehead in the movie theater. And then the lizard comes in. He's like, ha ha. International deal. High five.
Yep. And
England, UK, US,
Elmo.
forever. We're allies. You know, we fought the Nazis. US, UK.
But in the meantime, that all this is happening, Elroy has actually made the drinks.
Right. Yeah, US is best, but UK's cool too, says Elmo. How about we have some martinis? And Lizard's like, I don't drink fancy shit like that. I drink Budweiser. And the drug dealer's like, yeah, I don't drink shit like that. I drink Newcastle. And fine. Now my plan failed. God damn it.
Look over there.
Yeah, so he feeds them martinis. Well, I guess Lizard shoots UK drug dealer in the chest first.
Right.
Yeah.
But he had awesome face paint. So it was kind of a shame.
Yeah.
I mean, the red went right up to his eyebrows. So every time he moved his eyebrows up, the little cross thing on his face moved, and it was like, oh, that's cool.
As he's dying, he's like, I never saw Liverpool win. Ah! Nobody sees Liverpool win. Oh shit! It's hooligans! Ow! Oh! That's how good they are.
The most impressive part is that they never really forget the lyrics when they're kicking the shit out of those people. Just singing the song in tune the whole time.
Nobody talks shit about Liverpool. They're like the Spanish Inquisition. They'll just show up at your house, kick the shit out of you. Say, even if you're in Boise, Idaho.
Yep.
All right, so now he's like, I got you, Elmo. I'm the lizard. You can't escape me. I got her on my team. And where's the drug formula? He's like, right here. And he burns it up. And he's like, what? No. You'll pay for that. Whatever. Just write it down again. I'll shoot you more. And Elmo's like, well, here's the deal. That martini you drank, you're on a clock. I put something in there. It's not good for you.
And in the meantime, the corrupt cop who's still trying to get his corruptness on shows up in the suite.
He's like, did I make it in time? Or how's my timing, Felix? Perfect. Because the cocktail that he put in Meatloaf causes a bowel reaction that blows him up completely.
He turns him into a human blood bomb.
A human blood bomb. Like a balloon filled with blood that pops.
He's like, did you make sure he ate Taco Bell before you brought him?
Oh, it's Meatloaf. I mean, yeah, it's Meatloaf.
And they're like, yes, I did.
Did you know Taco Bell was serving hot wings? As recently as last month.
And they were like, Taco Bell's going to get rid of their hot wings. And I'm like, they had hot
wings? Who ordered those? Meatloaf? What a terrible idea.
I don't know. I ordered the mini tacos at Jack in the Box, the spicy ones. I think they're delicious. And they're not a taco place.
Okay, great.
I think they're gross as fuck.
I think they're pretty not great. Okay, all right. So, Lizard's dead. Also, Formula 51, it is piece of shit 51, because it was a placebo. It wasn't even anything.
Yep, he's like, these are M&Ms. I just blew up that Oompa Loompa. Eat shit! Your chocolate factory sucks!
Hey, you, goalie, throw me that football. No, the one that's weird shape. You don't have, okay, I'll take your, can I spike in the football?
Well, not to mention that
then it bounces up and hits him in the face.
The entire place is covered in blood, right? Except for them because they have the umbrella.
An umbrella.
But the bonds.
They walk out with very clean bonds.
Yeah. There's no damage to the bonds at all.
Good.
They just pick them off the table like, well, thank God we had those in a little crevice.
And then they walk off. They're like, good druggins, good dealings. I'm glad everything worked out for us. Clean.
They go to the snack bar. Divvy up the bonds and go their separate ways.
And then we get some post stuff that says, well, Felix and Dakota, they settle down, but not till after the football game. And then we never know. Nobody knows what happened to Elmo, except for you, viewer. And why would nobody know? He bought a goddamn castle. There's paperwork behind buying a castle. Nobody ever heard from him again, except for his goddamn realtor.
Maybe.
But this is what happened. No one knows. Oh, by the way, I hate when they do shit like that.
I hate when they do shit like that. He bought a castle.
So then, basically, he buys a castle, and supposedly the original version of this script was supposed to be a lot more heavy-handed towards slavery, and this is where we ended up, is at the end, he's like, yeah, I have a Scottish last name because of slavery, so I bought this castle. Now kiss my black ass. And he gets fucking naked.
That would have worked better, but that's not what happens.
That's what happens at the end.
I think it is what happens, but they don't.
He says so.
They don't deliver it like that. He's like, I have a Scottish last name and you haven't seen nothing yet. And then he takes off his clothes and walks away like he's showing off his wiener again. But I think that the message was supposed to be what Sam said.
I think it was...
No, he says my master's name, my family's master.
He does say all that.
McElroy.
But he doesn't say, booyah, kiss my black ass. He just slowly undresses and then walks off naked. And you're like, why did he take off his clothes and walk off naked? Because to me, what he takes his clothes off and walks off naked is because he's saying, yep, my balls were hanging free the entire time I was wearing this kilt. That's right, guys. Underneath Scottish men's kilts, there's no drawers.
And, this is another lost opportunity.
Which is stupid, because we already know all that.
Yeah. And really, this is another lost opportunity for wiener showing.
Oh, my God.
Because... he could have, look at this giant wiener.
Then Samuel L. Jackson's career really would have taken off, Jackie.
I think she's right. Instead, when he's like, are you going to make your putt? And that's when he disrobes and he uses his dong to put it in. Big star.
How about I make
He makes that putt.
Putts.
Yeah.
Putts,
He's like, check this out. Bam!
Putts is another word for dick. It is.
It is?
Your putts.
I didn't realize that.
Squatty,
I don't know if putts actually means penis.
Squatty,
I'm not sure.
No, it's a little squatty, little fat, mashed up pee-pee.
Cannot confirm.
I don't know.
I can confirm.
I watched Euphoria, the show on HBO, and one of the characters was
one of the vampires took off his clothes, and she's like, "Oh my God, that's a putz."
No, she ends up getting online as a anonymous
sex worker.
Yeah, and her thing is she makes fun of and degrades men.
She's like, "Go to my OnlyFans."
This guy that they found, he showed his wiener. Mm-hmm. He is not famous because the wiener was literally the size of maybe 2 inches.
Okay.
It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
All right. Good story. Great.
So, wiener size does matter in the amount of success you'll have later, because if your wiener's normal sized or better, you're probably going to get more roles.
Okay.
And if you have a giant wiener, you probably have a better chance of making a putt with it.
Yeah, exactly. They're not going to hire you to do the final putt scene if you don't have a big wiener.
Putts. All right. Who wants to go first on question? Sam.
Why were the 2000s full of nothing but this shit?
Oh my God. Did Guy Ritchie hurt us in the long run? Is our world worse because of Guy Ritchie?
It kind of seems like everybody wanted to be a badass back then.
Right?
And I can be a badass in my neighborhood. I just have to do these 3 things.
Have jump cuts constantly?
Yeah. Sell drugs.
And disjointed narratives and some...
help old ladies.
Circle around drugs while...
Yeah.
And British.
And you have to be a good guy for 2 of them. Mm-hmm. Or no, for 1 of them. And a bad guy for 2 things that you are known for.
Right.
You can help the elderly, but you sell drugs.
Bullet Tooth Tony beating a guy's face in, picks up the phone, very polite on the phone.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. She's right. That's one of the motifs of the Guy Ritchie inspired genre that this film is based off of.
So, you can't be completely...
Christoph Waltz.
Really? You're going to cut me off?
No, I'm adding to your point.
Oh, okay.
Christoph Waltz in the Quentin Tarantino. Everybody wanted to be Quentin Tarantino. Not that sometimes this movie, Roger Ebert compared this movie to Pulp Fiction. I don't see it. But Christoph Waltz, he's a German Nazi. He's going to kill those people, but he's very polite to them at first, and spends about 30 minutes telling them stories before killing them. It's a good point, Jackie.
Yeah, everybody's got to have a redeeming characteristic so that you don't hate them so much that you become disgusted with the movie and then turn it off.
I guess. I turned off the...
Schindler's List. You're like, I hate this.
No, whatever that Quentin Tarantino is. We hunt Nazis.
I don't like
Inglourious Bastards, I just revisited, and it's not as bad. I still don't think I like it, but the second or third time through or whatever, it was a lot easier to take.
Okay, all right. Sam, your question was what again?
Well, it wasn't really anything. It's just noting that the early 2000s were the worst period in our lives of film in general, just being regurgitation. And
the late 90s in general. This shares a lot of regurgitation, as you say, but it was also, we've got this, the thing that we don't describe in this, because it's not as in your face as some of the other stuff from this era, is the bad editing. The swooshy camera stuff, get a fast zoom in on Emily Mortimer and make a swoosh sound as the camera zooms into her, shoosh. Well, that's so badass, and it sucks.
It sucks because the only times it works right in Lock, Stock, Snatch, there's a number of other movies that do it well. To a certain degree, that's what Scott Pilgrim does, is an evolution of this combination of sound and visual. But the problem that movies that do that without the plan on the front end and shooting it in a way that the editing makes it work, you're just trying to copy that without any of the parts that make it fucking work.
Yeah. Oh, and we also forgot to say that at the beginning, when they get introduced, they have those little cards in the side of the screen that tells you their name and their job. Fuck off. We couldn't figure it out.
I also liked, speaking of that every time they switched cars, they did the exact same shot where they ran over a puddle and the puddle splashes the camera.
That's true. Yep.
Every single time.
God, everybody wanted to be Guy Ritchie and Quentin Tarantino in the year 2000, and not very many of them were. And also, is Guy Ritchie even Guy Ritchie? I don't know.
I'm going to argue that none of these directors wanted to. It was just there was a handful of producers that couldn't get over it. Yeah. Because they're like, oh, we're going to catch that lightning in a bottle. We're going to make all that cash. But we're the people in this industry that aren't talented and don't have good ideas.
And we're going to spend $36 million doing it. What?
So is the Boondock Saints, is that in the same time?
I'd toss that in there.
Boondock Saints is right around
movies.
here.
I'd toss that in there as well, for sure. But here's the thing, $36 million, I don't think even to this day Quentin Tarantino spent $36 million on a movie.
He spent $100 million on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Okay, I wouldn't stand corrected.
You can see every dollar spent in that production design, though.
All right. Jackie, you got a question?
Does he just walk around naked in his mansion or this castle the entire time just to show this old man his balls all the time?
I kind of think so.
And make him uncomfortable because the guy is Scottish and he's like, that is not polite, sir. And he's like, invite people for dinner. I want to show off my ball sack.
My black ass.
I feel like what really happens is on day 3, the butler walks in naked with the tea. And he's like, what? I thought this is what we were doing. And he's like, you're right. We should both wear pants.
So true.
Especially when you named it Castle Cock and Balls. Cock, lock, and balls. Because, he's Scottish and lakes and lock.
What about you, Justin? Do you have any questions?
Cocks, locks, and... All right. I do. Who has been in more bad movies, and don't just gut punch this, Jules or Vincent Vega?
Who are those two people?
I knew she was going to say it.
So I really feel like the volume at which Travolta is producing nothing but schlock, if he's not ahead, he will overtake soon.
Okay. My counterpoint, and I still don't know, is Travolta is only about 1/3 a year. Samuel L's in about 2 good movies a year and about 15 terrible ones.
Well, I thought that Travolta was turning out 5 turds a year anymore.
Oh, I didn't think he was. I thought he was doing one DTV and we just don't watch them. But Samuel L's been in a lot of bad movies. Let's face it, he's been in some good ones, but a lot of bad ones.
I don't know though.
I
think if I was an actress, I would just take whatever. I don't care. It's a cash grab. You use your trade, you make the movies, you get some good ones along the way, you get some shit. But, overall, it's I want a nice house and security and...
Yeah, take that money. You're implying that I'm judging them for taking shit jobs. I'm just saying who's been in more bad movies. There's no judgment implied to that question. Who's been in more bad movies?
Oh, Travolta.
Samuel L. or Travolta?
Travolta.
Samuel L's got like 5 times more film credits. I mean, it's a real conundrum. I think somebody's going to have to do some science.
We're probably going to have to find out from the fans on the Facebook, the Talk It Stinker Madness and whatnot.
Not who's worse, not who's better, not judging them individually as people behind this, just who has been in more bad movies. Not who's been in worse movies, who has been in more. Volume alone. Because clearly Travolta wins the worst movies. But...
Speaking of fans...
Do we have any?
No, I just noticed that we had an uptick in people on Facebook this week that were making comments or liking things.
Okay. Thanks.
Do you have a fan that has been inspirational this week?
I don't, because I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Nobody's talked to us at all this week.
Well, we had some likes and shit.
Okay. Well, I'm very inspired by your Facebook liking.
Oh, dude, I love it.
Jeff6167.
I love it when people
I mean, it
comment
turned my week around when you like to post Jeff6167.
Yeah, because, well, okay, here's the deal.
Wherever you're at.
I'm not a Twitter person or any of that shit. But I am a Facebook person because I'm old. And so when I see Victor on there several times, I'm like, thanks, Victor. That is awesome. And I just really appreciate those people.
That's nice of you to say.
You know, like leaving comments or leaving likes or sharing. And I just noticed that there was a much bigger uptick in the last week or two. And I just wanted to say that I noticed. And thank you. That is fucking awesome.
Here's the deal is, like, for years, Jeff61267 was liking posts, and I really, really relied on that. And then one time, I think it was Space Truckers, Jeff616267 didn't like Space Truckers, and so I found him, and I cut his fucking head off. And now he doesn't like our posts anymore.
Oh, that's not the dick that was like, I'm so glad that Jackie's not part of this podcast. This is
descending into madness.
It sure is. So goodbye, Jeff61267. Next week on the show. Oh, we haven't done final recommendations. Final recommendations on this. I go first. I didn't like it. Boom. Jackie.
Do.
Okay.
I actually had some fun with this one. I don't know. I thought it was funny. And I like most of the star power that they put in there. So, yeah, I'm in.
I did not like it one bit. Sam?
I didn't like it either, but Sandra did, so whatever.
So it's
two lady picks.
Yeah, maybe the ladies love Formula 51. LLF51.
Where's the wieners, though?
Yeah, right. Okay.
I mean, that was the only downfall of the show.
Next week is my pick. I don't have one lined up. I've still got Piranha Double D out there floating around if it's ever streaming again, so it could be that. But we'll find out next week. Anyways, get to the chopper. Except for you, Jeff6216561.
Fuck you.